Hello and welcome to another episode of the Adobe Creative Suite podcast. My name is Terry White, and in this episode we're going to take a look at 3 ways of showing your work to your client, colleagues, or prospective buyers. So let's dive right in. Now I'm going to start off actually over in Photoshop. Let's go ahead and pop over to Photoshop. And one of the ways that you've probably already been doing for a while, and it's certainly not a new thing, is simply sharing your file via PDF. So we can go through our file menu. We can come down to Save As. And when we save as, out of just about any Adobe application, there's either a Save As or an Export to PDF. Now, since we're in Photoshop, there's one extra caveat to this. If I save this out as a PDF, I'm going to get the options. Let's go ahead and click on the Save As here. One of the options that I'm going to get that I won't get in the other applications is the ability to preserve the Photoshop editing capabilities. So what that means is that if I have this turned on and someone has Photoshop, they would be able to access all the layers, everything in the file, as if it were a native Photoshop file. So it's a way of making a PDF that is openable and editable in Photoshop. If you turn this off, then it's just like any other flattened PDF. It won't retain all your Photoshop characteristics, and it will just be the image. So you have your choice, if you're going out of Photoshop to PDF, to either preserve those editing capabilities or not. And of course, you have all your regular PDF settings as well. So for example, if I were just sending this out for screen size or to put on a website, I would probably go to smallest file size to make the smallest PDF I could. But in either case, you do have the capability of preserving the PDF editing capabilities. And of course, that will also impact the file size of the PDF. Because if you keep all those layers, the PDF is going to be bigger. So that's one option. Saving as a PDF, sending your PDF to your client, or using Acrobat to send it out in a review fashion. Now, again, that's probably the oldest way you've been doing it. Let's take a look at another way. The second way, which we'll actually go over to Illustrator for, and this actually started, I believe, in CS4, maybe even CS3. I can't remember back that far anymore. But in CS5, of course, it's still there, and that is the ability to go up to your File menu in any of the Creative Suite applications, or almost all of them, and the ability to simply say, Share my screen. Now, what does that mean? Share my screen. What does that do? Well, actually, it's just a quick menu command in the application to take you over to your browser, and when you do that, it will actually log you into a free service called Adobe Connect Now. So this uses your Adobe ID, and it allows you to have your own meeting room with a couple of different people. So for example, I could say, let's say I invite, one or two people to my room, and I could then say, share my screen, share my desktop, and now I'll get a little pop-up window here just letting me know, what people are in my room. I'm in my room twice. But I have the ability to now, anything that is basically being, and I've already been in this once, anything that's basically being done on my computer will now be seen by the people in the room. So for example, as I begin to work or walk through my file, they're seeing it in real time on their computer. And no, they don't have to buy anything. No, they don't have to own Creative Suite. No, they don't have to own any Adobe products. They just go to your room with their web browser, with the Flash player enabled, of course, to be able to see what you're doing in real time. There is voice over IP, so they'll be able to hear you as well. And there's even a chat pod for them to interact with you via text. So, for example, if I go back to that, there's the chat window. If I stop sharing my screen, just to show you some of the other controls here, I have the ability to share my webcam as well, which I'm using it to record this video, so I won't do that now. I can also, of course, use my microphone so that they can hear me, and I even have a teleconference number if we want to talk over the phone. And it was basically, I can set up like a teleconference where the other two people can jump into on the phone and we can all be on the phone at once. Now that's not toll free, so there is a cost to make the call, but the service itself is actually included for free. So share your screen, share files, share your webcam, share your microphone, and of course whatever you're doing on your computer, and chat and notes, all for free using the share my screen option. So that was number 2, and that's pretty exciting. And I was always excited by Connect Now, but I'm even more excited by this next thing, because although Connect Now is great, Connect Now requires real time. In other words, everyone has to be available to do it right then and there so they can see your screen. So what's the third option? What's the last one? Let's go ahead and pop over to InDesign. And I'm just showing these, by the way, in the respective applications. I can do a PDF out of InDesign. I can do the share my screen out of InDesign. I can do any one of these out of the other applications. I don't have to be in Photoshop just to make a PDF or in Illustrator just to share my screen. I'm just going between the various applications to show you that it's there in each one. So now, what will I do here? Well, in CS5, there's this whole new set of services called CS Live. You'll find a little menu thing in the upper right hand corner in most of the apps. And from there, I can say that I want to create a new review. Now, what does that mean? Well, that's going to create an online review. So it's going to bring up my CS review panel that's built into the application. It's going to let me name my review and also save it to a specific workspace on my free Acrobat.com account. So I can either save it to a shared workspace where I've already set it up for other people to jump in and be able to review, or I can save it to my personal workspace and then email out a link for people to go and do it. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and say that we want to make a review of this. We want to do the current page, which is the cover. We'll do medium quality. The intent is for print, and I want to view it after it's done. So what that's telling it to do now is it's going to create a part. So it's going to basically take this page 1 and optimize it for the web based on that medium quality setting, and then upload it to the web for me to go and review. So it's now bringing it up in Acrobat.com in my browser the same way anyone would now see it. So once again, this service does not require the people participating in the review to own Adobe products, to know anything about InDesign or buy anything to do this. I would now be able to share this review by sending out an email link to any individual I want or any individuals I want. So this is not limited to just 2. You can have as many people as you want come in and review this, and they can do it on their own time. So now they would basically get a link that takes them to this document, and from here in their browser, they would be able to add their feedback to the review. So for example, let's say that I wanted to add in, or let's zoom in actually, we can do that. We can zoom into the parts of this, and we can go ahead and click, and we can say, hey, remove the blemish from this cheek. Okay, so we'll go ahead and say save, and that will add that comment to the review for all the other reviewers to see it. And I can go ahead and continue. I can add text comments, so I can say that I want to add a text comment there and type in that comment as well. Looks good. Let's do that. Okay, so you get the idea. You can keep going in and adding your various comments to the different parts of the review. Now, how is this different than sending them a PDF where they would go in with Acrobat and mark it up the same way? Well, here's the big difference in CS Review over all the other methods we talked about. Let's go back to InDesign for a moment. In InDesign, what's happened in the background is it's already been keeping track of those comments that have been made to this review. So I can go ahead and click on those comments, and look, the person doing the layout work in InDesign will not only be able to, in real time, see what's going on the web, but they'll actually be able to go to those specific spots that people are indicating in the review and make the appropriate changes. So for example, if I say take me to that spot, it can take me to the spot of a particular comment that I can take a look at it. So for example, we've got this one here. I now want to go to that comment, and it will take me to that spot on her face and show it to me. So the first icon turns the display of the comments on or off. The second one will actually go to the comment in question. So if I go here and I say go to that comment, it goes to that spot where the text comment was made or would have been made. And it also gives me the ability to reply. So if I said, hey, this guy said it looks good, I can say thank you. Thank you. Spelling, not my strong suit. Let's go ahead and say thank you, and that will go ahead and now put that comment back out there on the web for other people to see. So it's real time. Whatever's happening on the web from all my reviewers, whenever they get time to do it, is also happening in InDesign or any of your Creative Suite, Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, Premiere Pro applications in the CS Review panel as they're doing it. So even if the document wasn't open, I'd be able to still keep track of the reviews that are going on here in CS Review. So there you have it. 3 ways now in Creative Suite. You pick the way that's best for you, your client, and your work to show your clients, let them comment, let them review it, whether it's in real time with you, live while you're there, so you can show them what you've done, or PDF for the old way of doing it, or CS Review for the way of doing it, kind of where you don't have to be there as they're reviewing it, but you still get all the feedback. And CS Review being the newest way to do it, where the feedback actually comes into the actual application that created the review. And you get to see it right there on your document in real time. So I hope that helps you show your work or share your work with clients, colleagues, customers, prospective buyers, whoever it is, so that you can get their feedback. Thank you for your time. My name is Terry White.